would have expected that the cost of living could skyrocket as quickly as it has.
Yep.
You have to be making good money or you're doomed to fail. Alrighty guys, welcome back to the VIP Financial Ed channel. Thank you so much for being here. If you're not already a subscriber, consider subscribing. We've got amazing content and we bring in amazing people to guest appear here on the channel as often as possible. I like to be a resource for you guys that brings in other resources and show you the people I'm working with and show you the people that have an influence over the decisions I'm making day in and day out. And I've admitted it before. I admitted it on a previous video with you. I've never been accused of being the smartest guy in the room. And to some extent, that's intentional, right? I want to be surrounded by the smartest people in the room.
Well, if you're the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong freaking room.
Yeah,
right?
that's exactly the way I think about it too. So I would rather be on the learning end as much as possible. Obviously, I'm here to teach you guys and to educate. I do have a natural desire and passion to educate, but quite frankly, I spend the majority of my time simply soaking in and learning. And one thing I've learned is that I can be a pretty bad decision maker. And I don't necessarily...
In what way?
I'm impatient. And so I make very quick decisions. And in many ways, that's served me well. That's part of the reason I'm successful.
You're taking action all the time.
I don't stop and paralyze myself by analyzing everything to death.
Yeah.
But I also have made decisions that have had consequences that, you know, I look back and go, man, you know, I would have rather avoided that. And what I've discovered, especially after I exited my 20s and was able to get past my ego, which I think was really the primary culprit, was that I can ask for help. You know, I don't have to, you know, be a DIYer about everything. And so today what I want to talk a little bit about is mentorship and coaching. And I think that's a really difficult transition for some people to make from going from a DIY mentality where, oh, I'm a superstar, I've got this, I can do it all on my own.
Do you know why?
Tell me. I thought it was just simply maturity.
It could be maturity, but think about most entrepreneurs.
Okay.
Most entrepreneurs, they want to get into business because of why?
They don't want to work for somebody.
That's right. Right? They want to be their own boss. They want to live life on their own terms. Have control, do whatever they want, and just like make all the decision on their own, right? So as you grow now, that personality is still there, right? So what happens? You hit glass ceiling, entrepreneur, I'm going to figure this out on my own.
Right.
Because they want to be able to tell other people, I solved this on my own.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah, that's the ego.
That's ego.
And you know what's funny is there's nobody there to cheer me on.
Nobody cares.
My mom. My mom cares.
Right? No, but nobody cares if you solve the problem on your own or other people help you solve the problem.
100%.
Nobody cares.
But they'll also be quick to point it out when you mess it up, right?
Yes.
And so the fact that I want to open the IKEA box and throw away the instructions and try and build it without reading.
Yeah, missing a couple of bolts. Who cares?
Depends on how far along I've gotten.
Probably don't even need it, right?
I don't need to turn.
It doesn't fall, it doesn't collapse, it works, right?
Oh, man. So, you know, the thing about it is, since I've been 30 and up, now I'm 40, mentorship and coaching for me has taken a long evolution. Now, I'm grateful because in my early 20s, I spent a lot of money to get mentored. I spent $15,000 on a mentorship along with $300 every single month that I'm still paying today. Okay, wow. So now I'm 40, I was at 22, 18 years of $300 a month and $15K up front, which was terrifying. We borrowed the money. So we used the debt weapon to get out on that. Now, I wouldn't necessarily recommend that to everybody, but we do obviously talk about being able to leverage OPM into up-leveling and scaling businesses, and that worked out well for me. I owe a lot to that mentorship, and yet it still took me a good 8 years before I was really sort of done making the extremely stupid decisions. And so I had to sort of train my brain into a litmus test of, will this have a long-lasting impact on me, negatively or positively, depending on how it works out? If the answer is yes, I try and get as many perspectives as possible now, as many qualified sets of eyes on the decision. Give me your philosophies, give me your viewpoints. You're more successful than me. What do you think? And that's helped me so much in decision making. So how has mentorship influenced you? Because I know you got mentored early on by Alan, right?
By Alan. So I always tell people that I've read a lot of books, I've gone to a lot of workshops, I've learned from a lot of different people, but I would not be where I'm today without my mentors. Like, I'm such a big proponent of having a mentor in your life. Because let's face it, as an entrepreneur, you're building a company, the path is very lonely, right? No one really understands what you do, right? If you have problems, there are not a lot of people you can share with. Not even sometimes, not even your family. Right?
Oh,
you don't want to worry.
My family.
Yeah, you don't want to worry them, or they don't understand, right? Sometimes even when you have success, they don't really get it. Like, there's all these things, right? They say, "Oh, Matt, your video had over 1 million views." Okay.
Yeah, right.
It's like, okay, they don't quite understand you, right? They don't appreciate that. So that's the issue. So with my life, because I struggled for such a long time, and I made so many dumb mistakes, my life turned around when I found my first mentor. His name is Alan, who gave me that skill set, the high income skills, taught me business, taught me marketing, how things actually worked, not how I think it should work. It changed my life. So in my mind, I'm like, okay, if my life was shitty before, mentor comes in, life works now. There's my formula for success. That's not difficult, right?
It's not difficult.
It's not difficult.
But it's hard still yet, and scary. And I think sometimes there's a level of your adequacy is being challenged when you think, oh, I need help, right? And so asking for help is so difficult for people. Investing in help is difficult for people.
They don't, it's like the good old saying, you think education is expensive, try ignorance, right?
Oh, God.
It is so true. But I'm thinking back at my career, right? Where I've had my first mentor, and then I had my second mentor, Mr. Dan Pena. You've seen him on YouTube.
Yeah, of course.
The $50 billion man.
Yeah.
Both. So Alan, I call him Big Dan. Both have been my mentor, of course, now for over like a decade now. Both, right? There's a reason. And I think a lot of people, they get confused about, if you buy a little coaching program, is that mentorship? That to me, that's not mentorship. That's a coaching program. That's an online program. Because a mentorship has that one-on-one, that intimate element.
So mine's not coaching, it's mentoring.
Yeah, mentoring is different. To me, mentoring is different.
Yeah, because I always call mine coaching.
Yeah, and mentoring is a different thing.
Okay.
Like,
you think about change the name.
Yeah, you think about coaching is, to me, a basketball coach. It's coaching you. That's good. But to me, a mentor is, like, I would share stuff with my mentor that I probably wouldn't share with other people. Okay, it's a very deep connection. So
yeah, it's a little more intimate.
Way more intimate. That's why I much like to, like, a lot of my students call me Sifu, because as my martial art background, because Sifu, it's a mentor. It's a mentor.
Yeah.
It's not just, hey, come to my school, learn how to kick, punch, and all. No, it's much deeper than that, right? So my life has drastically shifted. And funny thing is, Matt, the more successful I could become, the more I'm willing to ask for help, the more I'm willing to write the check.
Oh my gosh, me too.
Okay.
Me too. I ask for more help now than ever before. I'm so fast to write the check. And it's funny because I don't expect every program or product or service that I choose to pay for
not all
to be a
would
breakthrough.
No,
right?
no.
But if I can take just a little out of each one, that will compound itself into an evolution that is unstoppable.
I almost look at it the other way.
Oh, tell me more.
So when I hire someone, example, last year I hired, wouldn't you say I'm a pretty good speaker?
Yeah, surprisingly good, quite honestly. I mean,
I've been a 2 times TEDx speaker, opening speakers, right? I've been doing speaking for many years.
I love
so
TEDx.
Last year I hired a speaking coach, $40,000 to coach me. Now, am I looking for this speaking coach to give me a breakthrough? No.
Right.
Because here's the thing, when you're no good, it's easy to get the breakthrough.
Right.
But when you're already good, go from bad to average, easy. Average to good, easy. Good to great, a lot harder.
Great to excellent. Ooh, very, very tiny
that's like very little.
But a 10% improvement for you now,
it's big,
is worth.
So guess what?
$1 million.
So I invest that $40,000. I'm not looking for a breakthrough. Very precisely, I am looking to help with what I do, just like 5%.
Tiny manipulations.
5% better, right? So I think successful people, we operate based on the principle of the slight edge. Okay? I'm not looking for a breakthrough. I'm looking to, because if I can be a little bit 5% better, 2% better, 3% better, when you are, just think about this. Let's say this speaking coach helped me to become 5% better. Just 5%. But with the amount of content that I do, the amount of people that I reach, let's say on average, just last week I reviewed, on social media I reach about 11 million people per week.
Whew.
Right?
That's amazing.
Like Instagram, everything combined, 11 million people. So let's say 50 million, round number, per month, right? So 50 million people, 5% of that improvement. You take that out, 6 months, a year, that's a big deal.
Huge deal.
That's a big deal.
Yeah.
But that's how I look at it.
If you're 2.5 million improvement per month, right?
That's a huge deal.
30 million improvement per year.
Yes.
Every single year.
Yes.
Forever.
Yes. And the thing is, after I learned that, who owns that skill?
Right, exactly. It's an asset.
For the rest of my life.
Right.
So I have no problem. People, why do you write a check for 40,000 high speaking coach? Like, for what?
You know what's funny is, so many people in our audience would have no problem writing a $40,000 check to put 20% down on a $200,000 house to make an extra $500 per month.
Yep.
Isn't that sad? Yet, when you could take $40,000 and invest it into a skill that could make you another 30 million views per year.
Yeah, for the rest of your life.
Which one would you rather have?
I would always invest in myself.
Yeah.
So last year, so that's just one, right? Like last year, if I calculate the total consulting, coaching, everything I've spent, guess how much I spent? Just take a guess. Not my team, myself.
So this is personal mentorship,
just my consulting for me.
40,000 for a speaking coach.
That's just one.
Right.
And I brought in so many different people.
I'm going to estimate 5 times that, $200K.
$500,000.
Okay, $500,000, guys. You heard it.
$500,000.
And some people here will sit and struggle over $2,500. It blows my mind. People will sit and struggle over my coaching, $300 a month, less than 300. It is insane to me that somebody will use a previous experience to hang their hat on all of this fear, all of this doubt, all of this uncertainty that what they're buying isn't going to work. Okay? And what I try and emphasize is, look, you could do this 10 times. You could invest $2,500 10 different times, and the first 9 could fail. The first 9 could fail. Who gives a if it fails? The 10th time you've put in $2,500. What if that is the ticket to get you to that $5, $10, $15, $20, $30, $50,000 per month that you've been looking for? Wouldn't you do that over and over and over and over again and fail those first 9 times? Fail, which by the way, if you're failing, it's because you failed, not because the system failed. Because every single program, product, and service I've ever paid for, no matter how bad it was, I was still able to proactively pull things out of it that were valuable to my growth and development. If you aren't doing that, that's your own damn fault.
Yep.
It's your own fault. And everybody here can sit here and say, oh, we can get it for free on YouTube, or we can go to Instagram and get the motivation. True, you can. And is that going to make you a better decision maker? Probably not, because when you're in the midst of it and you're sitting there wondering whether or not you should invest $2,500, it automatically shows that you struggle with decision making. It shouldn't even be a tough decision in the first place. That should be a snap decision, just like it was for me to pay to have his program. It was very easy. So if you're struggling about that, you need people that are not as emotionally attached to the decisions you're making as you are, because you're emotional. This is a big life-changing decision for you, and it is. It's a life-improving decision for you. And because of that emotion, you're dealing with the fears and those uncertainties that are going to continue to sort of warp your thinking. And I don't think emotional decision-making and rational decision-making are the same thing. They're totally separate. So mentors help you rationalize. Mentors help you see
I'm going to
clearly.
point it out, and this may be a little bit tough love. If, let's say, for the $2,500, and people say, oh, you know, Matt or Dan, I don't have $2,500, or I don't have access to $2,500. If you've been working for any period of time, let's say you're 25, 30 years old, let's say you've been working since, 20 years old, hypothetically, you've been working 5, 10, 15 years, and you don't have $2,500, or you don't have access to $2,500.
The proof's in the pudding. You obviously haven't been doing things as well as you could have, because people who don't have $2,500 haven't been doing everything they can that the people who do have $2,500 have been doing, right?
Yeah. And I see that's why people, doesn't matter. You have the 97%, 3%, right? 97, like us, do you know less than 6% of the population makes over $100,000 a year.
That's insane. I can't even remember the last time I made less than $100,000.
Less than.
It must have been when I was a teenager.
Less than 1% of the population makes over $325,000 a year. So think about that.
Because 1% is wealthy, right? So 99 people out of 100 are not considered wealthy.
And to me, that 1%, even you're making 325,000, that's like nowadays it's middle class.
I agree. It costs so much money to build.
That is not.
If you would have told me even 10 years ago that my latest iPhone was going to cost me $1,300,
right,
I would have slapped you in the face, because who would have expected that the cost of living could skyrocket as quickly as it has?
Yep.
You have to be making good money, or you're doomed to fail. I was seeing just in a recent report yesterday about the average 401k balances.
Oh, yeah.
Is the average 401k balance for people that are north of 65 years old is somewhere around $69,000. 69 grand, folks. Do you have any idea how long you'll be able to survive on $69,000 if you chose to use that as a retirement solution?
And with technology, lifespan.
That's right. You're going to live longer, most likely.
You're going to live longer.
You won't necessarily want to if you don't get this stuff right.
It's very sad if you go to, let's say, Walmart, McDonald's. You see two types of groups who works there, right? You see the teenagers flipping the burgers, and then you see
the old people.
Sure. Elderly.
Yeah.
My question is, do you think they want to be there? Do they have a choice? They have to be there because they understand how they get to retirement. Like imagine you're 65. I feel so sorry because when you're 65, you work your entire life, and now you got to go back to compete jobs with kids at McDonald's.
It's got to be humiliating. Right? That would be a very, very.
You really think they want to ask, hey, do you want fries with that? What kind of meal you want? When they could be going on vacation, maybe enjoy life, spend time with the grandkids and all that. No, they're flipping burgers, right?
Cash flow is going to matter till you die, guys. And arguably, the difference between your health and fitness and nutrition and cash flow and money is that money and cash flow will outlive you, right? If you want a legacy to leave behind, if you care about your family and your loved ones and your kids, then guess what? You're either going to leave an empire, you're going to leave them assets and something that they can actually build upon, or you're going to leave them a mess that they have to clean up. So it doesn't go away just because you pass away. And this is a harsh reality. This is the old, the truth hurts, and first it probably pisses you off. We can sit here and be harsh to you guys, and you may not like it. And I get that. This isn't a fun conversation to try and slap you around, but at the end of the day, we can bitch and moan and complain and be sad and oh, you hurt my feelings, and
that's why I circle back to what we're talking about in the beginning. You got to weigh your ego with a bank account. Which one weighs more? So to me, I don't care about my ego. If I can learn from someone who's been there and done that and continues to do it, I have no problem. I am the most coachable. So you know how I was talking about first mentor Alan, right? And then Dan Pena, my second mentor. Now, recently, I found my third mentor, Mr. Dwayne Clark, right? Who is the founder of Aegis Living, $3 billion in assets. You know, billionaire.
Dwayne Clark. So, Mr. Dwayne Clark, someone I admire tremendously. My new mentor. Kind of the third mentor in my life. And why? Because every level that I go, I need to find someone to mentor me. So I have no problem. It's not like, oh, I'm this and I'm that. No, because I think I'm a good mentor to many people because I'm a great student. I'm always learning. No one's more dedicated. I'm always learning, reading books, Audible, attending workshops. I'm learning all the time. Like I'm a learning machine. And most people, you think it's difficult to learn now? Wait till you get to a certain level. When you don't need the money, try to stay motivated and learn as much. That's a lot harder. That is a lot harder because that's a really good point.
Your life is good. There's no motivation.
Get complacent. You're just comfortable, right? You don't need to.
You don't need to. But still have that mentality being, I always say, the day one mentality. Day one.
So probably one of the best high income skills you could develop is the skill of loving to learn. So develop that. If you don't love to learn, you should probably start there. Go out there and get yourself some mentors.
Yep.
The way you want to do that, guys, is to visit the HTC option. It's the High Ticket Closers program. Just check it out. See if it's for you. We'll put a link in the description below. Direct access VIPclosers.com is the website. Get all the info you can handle here on the VIP Financial Ed YouTube channel about banking, borrowing, cash flow, how to live the lifestyle of your dreams, guys. It's all about lifestyle abundance. Forget scarcity. Forget savings. Savings is for chumps. Lifestyle, assets, residual income. That's what we're here talking about. Dan, thanks so much.
Welcome.
Really appreciate it. My new best friend, guys. And until we see you on the next video, make sure you're checking out that link, getting yourself a mentor, and also schedule your one free coaching session from here at VIP under freecoachingcalendar.com. And we'll see you on the next video. Until then, make it a great day.
Make it a great day. That's awesome. That's awesome.